And we're, by the way, we're all doing it at some point. Just stop it. Build from where you are and be freaking grateful for exactly where you are, knowing this is where you were meant to be on the journey to take you to the next level. Now, Richard, I love you, man. You know I love you, and you got a little silly grin on your face. Tell me what's going through your head right now.
Rick, man, I'm so sorry. I missed Bill, but I'm so pumped up. I signed one this week. I have another one coming on, and I set another appointment for another capper. So I'm ready to be on stage with you guys. I know I'm a year away, but I'm ready to grow this out and get as millionaire. I want us to get a lion's share of millionaires.
And look, so we don't have to wait for a year. We've got Hawaii in January. We've got Cabo in March. Literally the day that Hawaii ends is a month from the day Cabo begins. And if I were you, I wouldn't even think for right now of Hawaii. I'd think about Cabo. Cabo is going to be huge. So Richard, get your goal set on being on stage in Cabo. Set that goal now. And the difference you make between now and January 1st will get you recognized to be on the stage. And by the way, Leo and I might be able to put a bug in someone's ear that, hey, Richard's freaking killing it, wants to be on stage. Hey, Gabe, when did you change your last name to Cold from Cole? Just curious, you know. Does that mean
I just got notified. I just got notified by John Finley that it said Gabe Cold. I'm on my iPhone right now, and I have no idea why it says that.
Well, it says because you're a cold ass mofo when it comes to recruiting, man. That's what's going on.
I prefer hot, but we'll go with cold.
All right. So look, there's a lot of people on here that I've seen in the last 2 days or 3 days. For those of you I haven't seen, the Shamikas, the Brads, the Vanessas, any of you, Danny Espinoza, all of you guys, I just ask. This 3 days was probably, I don't know if Leo said anything about it or Selena, because I've never seen this Selena ever before. She's so freaking on fire. We call her the magic creator. Like everything she touches lately is turning to magic. And guess where that started? With her changing her perspective on the world and the results, period. That's all. Tell them, Selena, isn't everything you're touching turning to magic?
It's been pretty magical lately.
Yeah, and look at that smile on her face. She looks younger and more beautiful than ever, and that's because of her results. See, even Rebecca Conley noticed that. Didn't you, Rebecca, in the room yesterday?
She has this glowing aura.
Yeah.
She looks amazing.
Yeah. I was worried she was pregnant, but apparently it was just because of all the magic she was creating. So
there are no more babies coming. I'm going to be a grandmother very soon. No more babies, just grandbabies.
Yeah. Okay. So in the interest of what's possible in the future, I'd like you all to just feel free to raise your hand. But here's what I want to say. In the text I sent you this morning, I said, let's consider a reset. I know I feel reset. Yesterday, I got up at 6 unwittingly before my alarm went. I was about 6:15 or so because we thought there was going to be a, what was that called, Selena? Flip chart thing delivered to our room. So I got a little restless about 6:15 before my 7 alarm and everything. And then by the time I went to bed last night, it was 1:15 p.m., 1:15 a.m. And I did not have one little lack of energy. And one of the people in my organization from Philadelphia said, dude, we're a little worried, man. Your energy is so high from the minute you get up till the minute you go to bed. And you've been going, 18, 19 hours a day. And I said, and you're worried about what exactly? Like you're going to burn out. I go, no, I'm not. I'm sleeping in on Saturday morning and Sunday morning till 9. Okay. I know I look forward to my sleep in days, but in between, I look forward to kicking some butt. I had the worst first 6 months in real estate productivity this year that I've had in over 13 years. Me. I've had years where I did 100 million. Okay. I'm on track to do 2 million this year, this whole year, 2 million. I'm kidding. It's not going to be that bad. But my goal now for the second half of the year in my productivity is 50 million. 50 million. It will be almost all in the second half. That's one thing. And number two is even though they lowered the threshold to 30, Leo and I are fighting to see who gets to 5,000 in their organization first. Okay. I want to be the guy that supports you in your goal. I don't care if it's to 50 agents, whatever your goal is, I respect it. I'll be your running partner. I promise. Okay. One of us wins, we all win. Somebody said to me the other day, why are you so nice to other people that are outside of your organization? I go, because when they win, my stock goes up. My stock. Oh, and their stock goes up, right? It's the most beautiful design company I could have ever imagined. And of course, I didn't imagine it, or I'd be the billionaire right now. So I saw you laughing your ass off, Gabe Mendez. All right. So who's got something to contribute today? Wow.
Hey, Rick.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Danny Espinoza. Just want to say good morning. And it was an amazing event. And you said, who wants to share something?
Yes, please, Danny.
Something that keeps coming to my mind. I heard it a couple times. This is, I think, an Arnold Schwarzenegger quote. And he says that the weight of failure is nothing in comparison to the weight of regret of not doing something.
Yeah.
And I think it sticks in my mind because we're scared to fail sometimes.
Yeah.
And without failing, like we saw, Michael Jordan was probably the biggest record holder on failing certain attempts on shots. But he's also the most successful. So that's one of the things I would like to start off with. That's key. And I got to get out of my head with that. Oh, I might fail at this, or this might not go the way I want it to.
Yeah.
But the reality is the regret behind not trying is the reason why I'm here.
Yeah.
I don't want to look back 5 years from now or a year from now and say, I should have followed Leo's advice. I should have followed Rick's advice 2 years ago, a year ago, or whatever.
Yeah.
I just want to move forward and just make it happen.
And and that's so great that you bring that up. And I appreciate it more because there's people on here who want to sell more houses. There's people on here who want to recruit more agents. There's people on here who want to lose weight. There's people on here who want to get healthier. I don't care what your goal is. I'm going to be your running partner. Just call me and let me listen to what I'm about to say. Let me help you be aware of what you said you wanted versus what your actions are saying you want. Okay? And Casey taught me something many years ago, or introduced me to the concept of this. Okay? Based on current results, you are exactly where you're supposed to be, right? And you go, no, I'm committed to. No, based on results, you're committed to exactly what you have. And that is a scary thing. So remember, have you ever heard the saying, results, while often harsh, right? No, what's the word? Results, while often harsh, are always fair. And what are they fair based on what? They're based on your effort. You want different results, you change your effort. So when people say, oh, it's fair, no, it's fair. It's fair based on your efforts. When the market shifted, right, my son and I knocked on 800 doors and got 7 leads. Okay, 800 doors and got 7 leads. First time he's ever been door knocking in his life, other than when he was a kid coming with me to farm. In my old days, I was almost getting 3 leads on every 100 doors. Well, 3 leads on 100 doors, I should have gotten 24 leads then, not 7. Well, fortunately, because of my average sale price, those 7 leads are about 13 million in business. Okay. So what am I doing now? My 37-year-old son, most of you have heard me talk about this, lives in LA. He's about, at the end of the year, he's going to move up and get into real estate with me. So I said, dude, we're not waiting. I want you to come up once a month and we'll go door knocking. Find 3 or 4 days in your schedule, come up and we'll go door knocking so that the farm is up and running by the time you move up. Right. So month 1 was June. We've already booked this Friday, Saturday, and Monday. We're going door knocking again. Anything that you want, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to have a renewed look at almost 66 years old at how you can accomplish it, because you're driving me to be more attentive and intentional of my own goals. Okay. So if I'm going to do anything as a leader, there's one thing we can all change. Lead by freaking example. No more me talking to you about things you could do that I'm not personally doing, period. I'm not going to do it anymore. You can call me anytime and say, what are you doing, Rick? I want to know. But I'll tell you this, energetically, you're going to know what I'm doing, because I'm not going to be waiting around for anything other than that energy that I've got sifting through all of you so that you can create what you want to create. It doesn't have to be attraction. It doesn't have to be more homes. It can be anything you want it to be. All right. I keep finding myself talking, and I wanted this call to be about you guys. So who else got something? Thank you for your input, all of you so far, and your generous chat stuff. Brent Conley, Mr. Lionheart, go ahead.
Hey, good morning. We're here in Scottsdale. So our flight we weren't going to get into San Diego till like 1 a.m. So I'm like, let's just go to our Scottsdale house. So we changed our flight till today. So anyways, feeling refreshed. If any of my agents that are on the phone that need to get a hold of me, by the way, my phone's dead. I got to go to Apple Store later on today. So the big thing that was a huge takeaway. Thank you and Casey and Rosie for bringing in Cortland. I think yesterday was really impactful. Some of the recordings that I recorded, I watched them on the plane last night. And, I think there is so many lessons in that talk. I wish I would have recorded the whole thing.
Yeah. And if any of you guys did get recording clips of Cortland, please send them to us because it was life-changing. Wouldn't you say, Brent? Like there was shit in there that leveled me.
So, I sat by Scott and I shared one with him, and I'm going to use this for teaching other agents in our organization, and I'll probably teach other people this as well. So I just want to say thank you to you guys for bringing him in. I think that's going to produce tremendous results. And one of the things that I really enjoyed was that negative thoughts are energy as well. And so we've got to quit wasting our time with those negative thoughts and push them off the side and choose to use the energy in a more positive manner.
Yeah. And that was one thing, like Shay's popping in there. Cortland was awesome. Leo, I know you had some real ahas in there. But one of the things that I want to say is that what I respected about all of you that were in that meeting, Will Higgins was in there. I'm looking around. There was a lot of you in there. Was this, that none of you were pointing fingers. That's what happens in a lot of personal development. Somehow we end up saying, oh, I know somebody who could use this. Right. And people go, oh, like when I've talked to people about the basic that Cortland taught, they'd go, oh yeah, that's not for me, but my husband could really use that. Right. And that is so much the finger pointing back here. But everybody in that room, you're laughing, Leo, because people say that crap, right? You can't even believe they do. But the one thing that I saw in that room is everybody was listening to his words and saying, how am I able to improve myself, my leadership, my life by using what he was saying? And that's why I want us all to collaborate on any clips we got from Cortland. There was somebody in that room that's on a plane right now that couldn't be on this call that was so taken. And even though he introduced, and him and Rosie introduced, that there's going to be a discount somehow to work with him by something he's going to create with Rosie and Casey, she went on his website and literally booked $1,000 call with him because she did not want to wait another second to have more time with him. $1,000 phone call. So there is a lot of power, not just what he said yesterday, but look at what happened Monday morning. I was sitting in that class. Look, guys, the founder, a billionaire of CEO, our CEO, Glenn Sanford, stayed in that room for 1 hour. This is the most sought after man at all of the Build conference. And he stayed there because he had an awareness of PSI seminars and Cortland, and he stayed and was moved. The chief growth officer of EXP Global, Michael Valdez, stayed almost for the entire thing and then begged me and Casey for his name, cell phone, and email because he wanted to talk further, which I truly believe they'll be bringing him in front of all of EXP soon. But it was powerful stuff. So, Will, anything from you, buddy? Any of your findings or your thoughts? Brent and Rebecca, I didn't mean to cut you off. If you got more, throw it in. Leo, just throw out stuff, guys.
I got one to say, and I think it goes in alignment, right, with that Cortland said that thoughts become things, and you think you're doing well until you got the Rick, so the Rick Geha walk in, or you got Brent Go walk in, or you got Gene Frederick, and that comparison, even though it could be something obviously that motivates you, at the same time it could be defeating. So I think it was very liberating to hear his perspective on that. That was like huge for me, right? Because you again, right, you feel like you're doing really, really well until you're like, oh damn, I'm not doing nothing, And
yeah.
That was very, very powerful, very, very powerful for him to hear that. And it gave me a lot of freedom to just, the main thing is to compare myself to who I was yesterday. that was it. Like,
yeah,
am I better today than I was yesterday? And that was like,
dude, yeah. Didn't that hit you like a ton of bricks?
yeah. 100%.
And it also took a load off your shoulders, right? I mean, it takes a load off because you're not like, I don't have to be better than Jay Kinder. And I find myself doing that every time somebody gets up with a bigger org than mine and stalks on stage, and they have to freaking throw up that org number up there. I'm like, could you guys just fucking erase that thing, please? You know, like, but no, what I'm doing now is going, good for him. I'm sending him love, and I'm saying, I'll be there soon. That's all. That's all I got to do. So thank you, Leo, for sharing that. That was a big deal. Anybody that wasn't there?
Hey, Rick.
Oh yeah, who is that?
It's Gabe. And
hey,
I
buddy.
changed my name to Cole. And
okay.
I did get a couple of videos. So what I'll do is I'll put them in a Google Drive, and I'll send you the link so you can share them with the group.
Yeah.
So one of them was a 5-minute segment, and then the one where he was really on fire.
Yeah.
I got that, where he was talking about the 5-year goal and how to share that with other people. So I thought that was very, very valuable. So I'll share that with you. But I think similar takeaway to what Leo had mentioned with regards to, I mean, kind of going back to comparison is the thief of joy. And what I shared with Cortland after, if you guys haven't heard the Matthew McConaughey Oscar speech when he accepted his Oscar several years ago, it's in a pretty incredible speech, and it has a very similar theme. That he does. It's not comparing yourselves to others, but it's his hero is himself in 10 or 15 years down the road. So he's always chasing that hero of himself, of what the man he wants to become. And so I thought that was a really good comparison to what Cortland was sharing.
Good. If somebody can look, if one of you guys are sitting at your computer and can drop that link in the chat, I'd really appreciate it. Good job, Cade. Go ahead. What were you finishing with?
No, I mean, I think that's pretty much it. You don't compare yourself to what other people are doing. You just try to get better every single day. And even when that hero vision of yourself, 5 or 10 years in the future, when you get there, and even if you're the best version of yourself, you still have never caught him, because then there's a new hero 5 to 10 years down the road that you continue to strive for and get better every day. Yeah. And Taps, Mr. Tapatio, Jose Perez put a quote just now in the chat. And I remember when he said that, and he said it with such emphasis, when my efforts, you can read it right in the chat. When my efforts to help you succeed are greater than your efforts to help you succeed, then it no longer works for both of us. So anyway, good stuff. Jose, I appreciate that you put that in there. And Jose, you were one of the people that literally asked the most questions yesterday. And I was really, we don't get to see each other that often, but we saw each other a lot in the beginning when you first came over. But man, you were like on fire, and you were taking a lot of it in. How do you think what you experienced from Monday to Wednesday is going to affect what goes on going forward for you?
Honestly, the whole event was amazing, but you and Casey putting Cortland in front of us was definitely what made this event more impactful for me. It was one of the things that kind of got to me the most. As leaders, we go through different stages of trying to develop people, and sometimes you question yourself if you're on the right track or if you're doing the right thing. And Cortland just put everything in perspective. The law of relativity really stood out to me, and that's when I was asking those questions, because it's true. We always want to go back to something or compare it to something, and he just talked when he said, in relation to what are you relating that experience to? And that's why I was asking those questions, because I felt myself being in that type of mindset. And now when he told me, hey, take massive action towards where you want to be, and surround yourself with those people that are doing what you want to do, and that's going to change everything to you, because now you can relate that to something better. Doesn't mean you have to go back and relate it to something that you have resentment for, or where you're having revenge for, right? So for me, is coming from a different type of mindset and perspective that really hit home for me. Yeah.
Well, and thank you for that, Jose. I'm going to call on somebody now. I know that a lot of people like to call Michael Valdez Mr. Worldwide because he's the Chief Global Officer for EXP Global. But I like to call Joseph Trujillo Mr. Worldwide. So he has a question. So Joseph.
Yes, sir. Hey, Rick, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, cool. I'm at the Phoenix airport. I just wanted to kind of give takeaway from the event for myself and share it with everybody. It being a little bit more intimate this time, I was able to connect a little bit more strongly with people that I hadn't in the past. And here was something that kind of resonated with me in a lot of conversations I was having, is that there's an elevation that's occurring in this company and in individuals. So aside from like all the amazing conversations about productivity and attraction, it was very clear to me that as individuals amongst EXP, people are like leveling up. People are wanting more spirituality, more self-development, things of higher purpose. And that resonated with me. And it kind of all tied in with, Cortland's conversations and everything that we were doing in small circles. So if you weren't at this event, I highly encourage you guys, man, we got to get in tune. You need to show up as a big family. So then that way all these golden nuggets are shared and create an impact for people in person. That in-person opportunity was really profound for me. So I just wanted to share that with everybody.
Nice. And Joseph, give yourself credit, buddy. You did not have any moss growing under your feet the whole trip. You were going from meeting to meeting, meeting people, talking to your business partners, paying attention, taking notes. Like, I was really impressed. I was, as many of you that I could keep my eye on as possible, I was. And I got to tell you, I think people were pretty envious of what we brought as a team. Like, I think people were I personally witnessed people peeking into our room on Monday. Like, what are they doing? How come we're not doing something like that, right? And I don't care about what people think. I care about what we're doing to elevate ourselves, period. Okay, but it does kind of make you feel good when people are coming up to you going, what were you guys doing in there? Like, what was going on? What we were doing as a group was not wasting 1 minute of time where we could have been filling it with things that make us better human beings, period. And I think most of you agree based on the outcome of what was going on here, right? Jesse Zagorski, who couldn't be on this call today, pulled me aside the other day. We were walking and he said, apparently I didn't know because Selena was in charge of booking him, but I had a lunch with him the next day with a few of his recruits. And he pulled me aside and he goes, hey, what have you been doing? And I said, oh, I've been recruiting. He goes, that's what I'm talking about. Casey said you brought on like 8 or 9 people to your front line. And he goes, how are you doing that? I go, I just got busy. I got focused. And he said, well, tell me what you mean. And I said, well, in the last 6 months, I've done more face-to-face recruiting appointments than I've done in the last 2 years combined. And he goes, well, how did you do that? And I go, conversations, just more conversations, more conversations, more conversations. First conversation, 5 to 10 minutes long. Second conversation, which used to be a 45-minute Zoom where I showed him the model explained, has now been coffee or lunch, right? And yeah, I probably put out some money I probably didn't need to do, but man, I had a lot of freaking lunches and a lot of freaking coffees. And the more I did that, the more I got results. I'm not saying you have to do that. All I'm saying is pick one freaking thing and do it. Will, you had your hand up, buddy. Go ahead.
Yeah. This was my first time bringing someone to build, and just from their perspective, guys, what we're doing is completely different than any other brokerage. And what they noticed, and what they, the resounding statement from them was, what we keep hearing is that, 1, this changed their lives, but 2, help. Everyone is helping everyone. So, it just reaffirmed that you have to get people to these events, but also Cortland reaffirmed that too in the session we had on why events are so important. And it was just cool to see it all just play out.
Yeah. Yeah. And that, you introduced me to a couple, Will, I told you their energy was literally catching. Like, it was so amazing, such great energy. And they were, they felt, I think more than anything, they felt the love, didn't they? And I'm not just talking from our group. They felt the love being in the event. They go, here we are, some of the richest people in the world giving for nothing, right? And by the way, guys, for those of you who weren't here, Brent was challenged by some of the biggest recruiters in the company to start offering value as it relates to productivity, not just agent attraction. And this is the very first event where Brent has allowed people to get on his stage and sell. All right. So he personally partnered with Workman Success Systems to present a P3 coaching at an incredible price where Brent and Verl will be coaching the people together. That was big. Bill Pipes was on the stage selling coaching. Even I think Dan Beer and John Cheplek or something have a coaching company, and Jeb Blount, was selling coaching. And that was because Brent wanted people to not just get up and feel good at the event, but to go back and make a difference. And we can do that by reaching deep. And what I'd like to end the call with, I think we're not that late, but I would like, before we lose time, for Selena to talk about, are you guys okay if Selena talks a little bit about Activate, so that you guys all know what's going on and how you need to spread that out? But before we do that, Selena, please don't go away. I want Jesus Martinez to speak up, and then I want Brent Conley at his hand up. So Jesus, I can't see where you are on my screen, but go ahead and speak up, buddy.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, this is Jesus Martinez. I've been doing business for 25 years. If you guys, for those of you that don't know me, we sold plenty of homes. I've been working for Coldwell Banker, different organizations. There is nothing similar. I'm a newcomer. I'm brand new to the family here. I brought 2 of my agents along to the event. My agents are like amazed. My clients, my agents are like, they have a new perspective of I have to become better. Everything happened because you guys, everyone who is in this call, shared something. So always remember, we share something, we receive something back. Don't ever change something that I learned during these past 3 days. Let's keep moving, because we're doing something that is moving people. Always remember, we are here to serve. And if we have this mindset, we're gonna go high and everybody's gonna look at us. And this is the beginning of many, many, many years of success. And to having people like Rick that we have around, Glenn, let's make it happen. Like I said, we're here as a family, and I really admire you. I don't know all about you, but I'm here to serve you. And that's basically what, I just want to say thank you to everybody. And like I said, you changed my life. And there's many, many people out there that we have to reach and connect. So that's my message for today, Rick.
Thank you so much, man. And you guys, you got to all get to know Jesus. He's going to kill it in Palm Springs, Palm Desert, Indio, Mecca, all those areas out there. He's going to be killing it down there and growing rapidly. Him and Leo and Joseph Trujillo have brought him to the table, and man, super excited. His 2 agents were his niece and nephew, and they were blown away. One was 20 years old, the other was 32 years old, and man, they sounded like they were in their 50s with their business savvy and how the environment here really changed them forevermore. So Brent Conley, buddy.
Hey, so one of the things that I decided to do prior to going to Build was to upgrade my dress. So I chose to wear a suit, and there's a couple reasons for that. I know, Joseph, you're in a suit a lot, and Rick, you're always in a suit. And I appreciate you two for sure, because you two were actually my role models at these events consistently over the last few years, wearing nice clothing. I used to wear suits at Mike Ferry for 15 years. So did Scott Marlowe. And these events, since they're a little bit laxed and everything else, I'd be in shorts. And that was the culture and everything. So I made a conscious effort and decision to say, I'm going to upgrade my my dressing at these conferences. And I'll tell you what, it really impacted myself along with my guests and other people with the compliments and all that stuff, because it brings a higher level of focus and a higher level of professionalism. And, I just wanted to share that with everybody else. If you want to increase your self-image and act like you're worth the millions of dollars that you are worth, then I think you need to upgrade. So I was like, I didn't even want to be around the people that were in pajamas and shit. Like that was nonsense. And I'm like, so I think their personal standards need to be raised. And I just wanted to share that. I'm raising mine, and hopefully everybody else on the call can.
Yeah, and if I translate that, live by example. You just live the example you want to be to others, and they'll make their own choices, and you can't be attached, and nor can you lose sleep over it. But every single minute of every day, I had more compliments from men on my clothes than I did from women. And that says something, because people are coming up saying, man, I really admire I met one of my guests was from Tracy, California. She was a guest. She's Middle Eastern like me. So we speak Arabic to each other. We don't speak English. And she brought her kids. So I met her 14-year-old son for the first time, and, talked to him in Arabic for a bit and really got connected. And then I saw him last night for the second time, and he looks at me like he was a 30-year-old guy. And he goes, man, you dress really nice. We should talk about how I can do that. This is 14 years old, said that, right? And then everybody heard him, and Selena's like, he's going to be a realtor, right? Like you could tell right away. And we looked at her daughter, who was 18 years old. She goes, I'm not going to be a realtor. I'm going to be in the medical field. He can be the realtor. It was like really clear. But yeah, you start to set a certain sense of energy, right? I'm traveling today, so I'm wearing jeans, but they're white jeans, and I've got a nice jacket on with it. That's just my selection. It doesn't make you wrong if it's not your selection. Just lead by the example you want to be to others, period. That's all. Don't get attached.
And what I'm saying is, like, do whatever you're doing. I'm not judging in that aspect. Yeah. I'm trying to give people a sense of, of pride when they're going in there, when they're trying to recruit, when they're taking pictures. At least put a sport coat on and jeans. That's cool. Like that's a lower dress, but I don't think you'll ever see me in shorts unless it's at the pool.
Right. And I did miss my chances at the pool. Who was that? Jump in.
Another thing that stood out to me, man, is that this is just the beginning, dude.
Yeah.
Like this is just the beginning. Like it is still early.
Yeah.
Right. And then I can't remember the guy's name, but he put his stuff on the board, and he recruited 0 people in the first year.
Yeah.
The second year he recruited 3 people.
David Gagnon.
He recruited 1 more person. In year 10, he has over 5,000 people in his group.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. And what are we in a hurry for? It goes back to what Cortland said. Are we in immediate gratification, or are we okay with delayed gratification, right? And all we got to do is put in the work. The guy that is in Casey's upline at New Skin, right, makes about $150 a month, and he lives a really great life. And it's going to just continue to grow because he's still building in different countries. And he says something all the time that amazes me. He says, I'm still making money today from the first person I recruited in 2004. And that's the beauty of the delayed gratification, meaning it's going to build, it's going to build, it's going to build. And it will build with or without you once it gets momentum. What are we all looking for? Momentum. That's all. Hard to get, easy to lose. So, all right. Thank you, Will. That was really well said, and I appreciate your perspective on that. David, by the way, Will, I've never heard him speak on stage, but I used to get calls from him when I was at Keller Williams. I didn't even know who the freak he was, right? So anyway. Of course, I ignored all his calls until Brent called me. So, Pablo, my man, good to see you yesterday, sir.
Yeah, Rick, I just want to say what an amazing event. This was my first time. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Pablo Picasso. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. I met some of the guys from Phoenix. I actually saw Rod Flick. He was on our flight back too, and I had a conversation with him. Amazing guy. Very humbled, but on top of that, for being my first convention ever with EXP, and also just doing the workshops with you guys on a personal level, really was just an eye opener. I come from different type of leadership. I am currently with NARA Greater Phoenix, past president. I'm actually getting ready to go into my meeting here, but when I just sat there and just listened, I'm one of those guys that loves to observe and see what's going on first before I go all in. Mr. Leo brought me on board with Mr. Tapatio, amazing guys, and I see their performance and leadership. And I tell you what, although I didn't express it as much, I was fired up. I came back and I understood the concept. In the beginning, when you're on there, you're unsure if you're doing the right things or not. I knew there was something good about it, but now the affirmation of me going out there, meeting with you guys and actually getting to know you guys on a personal level for sure fired me up. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you to Leo and the leadership, for what you guys do. And with that being said, there's a lot of work on my behalf to be done to make sure that, we continue to move forward in helping people and obviously looking for financial freedom. So we spend time, that quality time with our loved ones, which is essentially what I like, right?
Yeah.
So great job on doing that, guys. I really appreciate your time and effort. And I'm going to be looking for more support from everybody, because without a doubt, I want to grow and continue to do good things with our communities and also for myself. So I just want to say thank you and good job putting that together. That was amazing.
Love that you said that. Thank you, buddy. That is really well said. And by the way, you just proved a point, Pablo. You were already a leader, but when they say the words leaders are born at events, they don't mean you weren't already a leader. It's more like they should be saying leaders are reborn at events, because you start to get a bigger vision of what's possible for you. Would you say that happened for you? Yeah. And look, guys, I get it. We've all had a rough year. Believe me, we have. I know we have. But this was an investment in myself. Okay. When I made the commitment to get a big suite, when we saw what that was going to cost us, I was like, gulp, right? To bring guests, paying for all their tickets. This is the most guests I have ever personally brought to any one event, no matter what company I've been with ever. I had 10 coming, 3 had emergencies just before and backed out, so I had 7 guests. And I got to tell you, one of them is a broker friend of mine that I've known for years. I had my license with her when I wasn't with KW before I found EXP. She was, which I introduced her to. I said, this is not an EXP event. It is an event put on by an EXP agent. That's how I explained it to her. I said, and the subjects are going to be health, wellness, mindset, lead generation, prospecting, and recruiting agents to your team or your brokerage. She goes, really? There's going to be a lot on recruiting agents to your team or brokerage? She goes, I got to go to that because I want to recruit a lot more agents to my brokerage. Okay. Yesterday morning, she's like, is there any way I can get a few minutes before you? She drove 3.5 hours from Houston. She's from Livermore, California. And I go, yeah, I'll meet you at 6:15 downstairs in the bar. We ended up talking for an hour. She asked me to step-by-step breakdown. I was like, who is this woman? This event, literally by itself, she's never listened to me about EXP. Now she's asking about revenue share and how it break down. And she has 30 or 40 people in her brokerage and how it would look. And she texted me last night, something that made me literally cry because it was so powerful. And you know what she said that was in there that was so powerful? She said, thank you for seeing me. And I didn't, right when I first read it, I didn't get it. But when I read it again, I got it. Like, I've known this woman for 14 years. And she said, the gift you gave me by inviting me was so big, but it said one thing to me, that you see me. Wow, like powerful, but it was also a lesson. Am I relating to people that I actually see them, that I actually hear them, that I know they're there? And are we all doing that? So anyway, I've been way emotional this trip. So, all right, Selena, please take it away so I don't have to bawl my eyes out anymore.
We love that you bawl your eyes out. We love that about you. Okay, so for everybody who wasn't at our event on Monday morning, we released information on a new training program that we're offering. So obviously, we've been running the Workman programs for quite some time. For those of you that have heard about those in the past, we teach the mastery coaching that we offer, RAMP, BAM, AMP, and SLAM. But so we get this report, right, from corporate every month. And I was looking at it about a month ago, and it gives us a report on our whole organization. And I was taking a peek at it, and I noticed something that really impacted me. And, 3,000 people in the Empire Builders organization. And I looked at it, and more than 50% of them had not actually closed one single deal. Did I lose everybody? It says can you hear me?
No, we can still hear you. We're good. You're good.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. It said my internet connection was unstable. 50% of those people hadn't closed one transaction year to date. And I had a small heart attack, right? That was a big number, really big number. I was like, wow, okay, what do we do about that? And when you look at that situation, and I was like, wow, how do we get more people in ramp? How do we get more people in BAM? How do we get more people in slam? The problem with that is those are 6-week to 13-week programs, right? And people start to lose focus. We started out ramp with like 50 people in the first call, then it was 30 people. And then we ended ramp with 6 people, right? I had 6 tried and true folks who stayed with us all the way through. Now, don't get me wrong, those people were in production when they weren't in production at the beginning. So it was a win. I'm super grateful that those 6 people stayed with us, and they weren't closing any deals at the beginning of the year. And then they were closing 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and that worked for them. But we have 1,500 people not producing in this organization and probably thinking about giving up on real estate, right? Thinking about leaving the organization, thinking about leaving EXP and giving up on what they're doing. So I sat and thought about, how do we get these folks moving? What do we do? What are we going to do to keep them going? And I talked to Rick and Casey, and I was like, all right, 6 weeks, 13 weeks isn't going to cut it. Like, we've got to think of something better and something faster. And I came up with a 2-day course. All right, so 2 days, we're going to activate them, right? That's the goal. Activate them in 2 days. 2 days, throw them in Zoom with me for 2 straight days. What they're going to get in 2 days is a listing presentation, a buyer presentation. I created one. I got it off of Etsy. I EXPized it. It's going to be in Canva. All they have to do is throw in their picture, throw in their name, throw in their information. They're going to learn. They're going to learn everything that they need to learn in 2 days, that on the 3rd day, there's no reason they can't go out and get real estate started. Because I hear this all the time, guys. I'm like, why aren't you going on listing appointments? Well, I've been working on my listing presentation. It's not done yet. Well, how long have you been working on it? 9 months. 9 months. Really? 9? Katie's laughing. You've heard it, right? Like, it's not done yet. I've been building it for 9 months. And I'm like, there's no excuse now, right? I'm going to give it to you. You will be done in 3 days. Okay. They're going to work on their top 50. They're going to work on their sphere. They're going to be given a lead tracker. They're going to be given everything. After the 2 days, they're going to have 30 days with me. Daily success habits have to be turned in for 30 days. They're going to have to do huddles with me for 30 days. For 30 days, we're going to track everything. They're going to have a high level of accountability. It's almost impossible to not have a piece of business after 30 days. Okay, the goal is to get as many people into this class. The first one's August 7th and 8th. We're doing the launch call on the 2nd. We are charging for this, guys. It's going to be $49. Casey and I went back and forth for quite a bit on whether or not we were going to do it for free or how we were going to do it, but we feel like without skin in the game, they're not going to be committed. Okay. And the goal is, honestly, I'm going to only give them the listing presentation on day 1 and the buyer presentation on day 2. So they show up both days. Okay. So I know that sounds crazy, but people just don't commit without having some skin in the game. All right. But I'm going to give them everything they need to go out on day 3. They're going to have to do a business plan, a strategic plan. They're going to have to come up with 4 pillars of income. They're going to have to do top 50. They're going to have to do their sphere of influence. I don't care how they decide to lead generate. They can do open houses. They can work their sphere. They can join BNI network. They can door knock like Rick, like whatever that looks like. We're going to decide what that is for them. And then they're going to freaking get busy on day 3. And then for 30 days, they're going to have to do it. And they're going to submit that. And they're going to have a community. I'm building it in Circle. If any of you guys have used that before, the course will be built and taught inside of Circle. And then they will have that community of people for that 30 straight days. Katie, you have a question. Go ahead.
I do. You're probably going to cover this, but is this something we can promote? Is it just to promote inside of our organization, but also
totally outside? It's
okay.
non-EXP.
Is it just for it's not EXP?
You can do it to any, if you want to use it for recruits, guys, use it for recruits. Absolutely. Put it out there to as many people as you want. John, you have a question?
Yep. Katie asked and you answered the first one. And the second one is when can we get materials to kind of put this out to people? I mean, this is great. And thank you for doing this. This is phenomenal. I'm psyched.
Yep, it's already on our homepage. If you go to empirebuilders.pro, it's on there. It's $49 if they register before August 4th. After that, it's $99. Okay, so we're doing the promo right now. So if you go to our homepage, the registration link for the launch call is already there. If you want to go ahead and sign up for the course, the registration link is already under there as well. So right now it's running at $49.
And last question, would you recommend this for any agents who are brand new, or agents who just want to get production cranking?
All of the above. So if you've got somebody who's a newbie, it's great. If you've got somebody who's been out of production for a while and they just need to get back into the swing of things, if you have somebody who says, I've been working on my listing presentation for 9 months and I don't have it done yet, that's that person too. Like anybody who's just been out of it for a while, or maybe just hasn't, or maybe needs a kick in the pants, right? Like that's the goal, guys. 1,500 people who haven't closed a deal in the first 6 months, like they need a high level of accountability. That's what they're going to get, right? That's what they're going to get. Like sometimes that's all you need. You just need someone. They're going to get me for 30 straight days. Okay, for 30 straight days, they're going to have to commit to give me their daily success habits. And for those of you that don't know what that is, they're going to have to report how many calls did you make? How many appointments did you set? How many contacts, real conversations did you have? Did you show houses? What is that? How many listing appointments, buyer appointments, all of those things? Katie, go ahead.
Well, I just went on the site and there's not that detail that you just said to us about like first day listing. Will that be on there soon?
If you go to Mastery Coaching on the other side, there's more information there. Sorry. So click on the Mastery Coaching on the upper side, and we do have more information at the very top. So the homepage has the links. If you go to Mastery Coaching, we just got this put up on
it does.
Friday.
Yeah. Okay. I just see the registration link as the the details there's no details in the registration link, just letting you know.
Yeah, we'll get those. So it's August 2nd is the launch call. And what day do we start again? August 7th?
7th and 8th are the 2 days of the class.
Okay. It's only 2 days, guys, and then 30 days of accountability. So
yeah. Katie, thank you. I'll check with Brooke, who's doing our website, and see if she's got everything updated.
I was ready to post it right now on social media,
I'll check. Tom, go ahead. You're muted if you're trying to talk.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Great. I just want to say it was a ridiculously good event. It was just what I needed, a shot in the arm, big time. Had a conversation with Brent beforehand and just had just a lot of personal stuff going on in my life, as we all do. They prevented me from being there early to hear Monday's session with the guy. I can't even remember his name.
Cortland.
Anyways, Cortland, yes. So many good things, and just a plethora of coaching opportunities now with Workman and Brent, and then Bill Pipes, and then Jeb Blunt, and now this. I'm definitely signing up, and $49 is, to me, barely skin in the game. So thank you for that. But if people can't do that, man, you got to question what you're doing. So I'm into this for sure, Casey, or Selena. I'm signing up on that. But whoever said they had recordings of Cortland, if that's possible, would love to be able to get those because it sounds life-changing, and I wasn't able to be there. So if anyone's got those, would really appreciate it. And Rick, thank you for doing this for the Cortland thing. I took a whole folder of notes and recordings and snapshots of the screens that were up. I was like a busy bee the whole time, recording and writing and snapping, and recording and writing and snapping. So it's just amazing.
Well, you bring up a good point, Tom. Guys, the slides for each day were up as of midnight that night after the demonstration on BUILD23.com. You can go to it right now, BUILD23.com. Then within a week from now, almost every person that was on stage, the video of them will be on BrentGove.com. Okay. So for those of you that missed, catch the slides. You look at a guy like Mike Sherrard, who's recruited almost 200 people to his front line. Okay. He put a step-by-step process on how to YouTube yourself, like step-by-step. All you got to do is read the darn slide and it's all there. Like do a video on this, do a video on that, do this many videos a week. Like it was crazy. And I'm not going to go do all the editing and stuff that he does. I'm just going to start with doing freaking videos. I can do that. I just pick up my phone, put the phone in front of me. I'm not afraid. I don't care how I look. I don't care if there's a booger in my nose, man. Let's just do this. So it was amazing. So remember that, somebody put it in. Thank you, Scott. BuildEvent23.com. Is there a resources page? Thank you, Scott. I didn't even know that. All right, good. So yeah, it's great stuff. And then BrentGove.com, probably within 7 to 10 days of the event being over, they'll get all the videos up there. Okay.
All right. Everybody
all right.
good?
Last minute questions, thoughts, ahas, anything before we call this quiz. This was an incredible call. Better than I could have imagined, literally the morning after everybody traveled. In case Selena and I are going to the airport right after this. So, all right. Well, thank you guys for being on. I love you all deeply, and I'm here to help support you on anything. You just have to reach out. I still haven't learned how to read minds, but I know how to respond to a text or a phone call. Love you guys.
Bye, guys. Safe travels for anybody traveling.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Rick and Selena. This was amazing.
Bye, guys.